All right, folks, this is a car that is really overlooked. I thought Subaru sold a lot more vehicles. Subaru sells about 600,000 cars a year, and this car specifically, the Outback, sells about 165,000 on an annual basis. The Tesla Model Y and the RAV4 are somewhere around 400,000 units a year. But this, I feel like, often gets overlooked, and I'm going to show you why you should consider this in this video. This is the 2026 Outback, fully redesigned on the exterior. I'm going to go through all of the changes that they've made on this thing. Overall, it looks just a little bit more masculine, and everyone talks about the RAV4 sells a ton, the Tesla Model Y sells a ton. Everybody's aware of the CR-V, but this actually packs in a lot more value, and they've upgraded the infotainments into the 21st century now, so it's actually livable on the inside. So there's two motor options with this. There's the 2.4 turbo, and then there's the 2.5. So the turbo, 260 horsepower, and then the 2.5, naturally aspirated, 180 horsepower, 178 pound-feet of torque. This has 277 pound-feet of torque. So I haven't driven this one yet, but I'll do some driving impressions here shortly. So this also has the upgraded 19-inch wheels. We just took this on the most absurd press drive I've ever done. I mean, we were up and down. I couldn't believe where we were driving, and it handled way more than I expected. And overall, in person, it's a good looking vehicle. I think because there's some overhang here in the front and in the back, it's tough to make it a great looking vehicle. But they've also done some things. They call this their shark skin. The marketing department was hard at work with that. So this is their shark skin exterior. It has some texture to it. It's very durable. And there's other parts of the exterior where they've looked at the aerodynamics of golf balls to make it more aerodynamically efficient. So for this model right here, you're looking at 29 miles per gallon highway, 21 city, and 24 miles per gallon combined. 18-gallon gas tank. So if you get the non-turbo variant, you're looking at 550 miles of range, which if you're in EV world and if you had something with 550 miles of range, you would be God. But overall, I mean, I just can't believe, we'll show you the infotainment here shortly. There's a ton of storage in this thing. Let's see here. Let's do the driver position. We'll get in position here. Heated and cooled seats. That looks about comfortable. Again, 5'12". We'll jump into the back. Oh, I mean, it's insane. There's at least 6 inches of space back here, and also plenty of room for me to kind of recline my feet forward with a ton of comfort. Has some type of recycled roof, so we are saving the planet with the roof liner in here. And then we have the partially panoramic. We have the moon roof here that opens up as well. Pretty generic in the back here. You do have, heated seats, USB-C, USB-A, and heated seats in the rear, as well as some lighting. You got some, look at this. You got some pockets. You got your iPad pocket. You got your full bigger iPad, and then you got your cell phones. You got all the technology back here, so you can avoid talking to your parents on road trips. And then there's you do have the bump in the back for the transmission tunnel. I get it. You have to have that. But there's little touches on this vehicle that I love. First of all, this material here, but like in the door cards, for example, instead of it just being hard plastic, it actually has like a felt material. I like that. We were talking about, by the way, cameraman here, shout out Motor Week, holding the camera. We were talking about the steering. We're going on this crazy rugged terrain, and the steering wheel is just like this. Little feedback. I mean, it's remarkable how good the car is in situations that you're most likely never going to encounter. So that was good. Let's take a look at the trunk. Power trunk, full automatic, up and down. So as far as pricing on the vehicle, I'll throw it up on the screen right now. It starts at $34,000, goes all the way up to $47,000 for the top trim. This one is $44,000, so just below the top trim. This is the Limited XT. The rear of the vehicle, they've done a ton to, also has a Harman Kardon sound system, has a bunch of different tie-down points for whatever activities you're going to get into with your Subaru. And I haven't tested the sound system yet. We will put on a Millie by Lil Wayne. We'll make sure that sound system is hitting, and I'll let you know if it does or doesn't. There's a ton of space back here. So when you, for example, the Model Y is 76.5 cubic feet when you put the seats down, but that also includes the frunk space. This is 80 cubic feet. 80.5 cubic feet when you fold all of this down. So you have a ton of space, and the feeling of sitting in the seat and steering the vehicle, it feels like it's a class above what it is. And I guess that's what makes Subaru Subaru. All right, so now on to the interior of the vehicle. huge update right here with the infotainment system. It says 8 gigabytes of RAM. I can't say that I've ever known how much compute a car had, so it was cool. We have a Subaru representative with us. She's in the back seat, so if I say anything wrong and the video ends, that's what happened. It does have wireless Apple CarPlay, and during our presentation, they said it has millennial styling in here. So we have some millennial styling because look at these. These are like gym shorts here because none of us dress up anymore. And then we have a nice steering wheel. Doesn't feel cheap or anything like that. The previous car I had like camel leather in it. Really nice color, adds some luxury feel to the interior, but ultimately these feel the same. This one does not have the cooled seats as an option. So when it has cooled seats, this is a button right here, but it does have heated seats. So we'll fire it up. Now, one of my favorite features on the Outback is their digital rear view mirror, just like this one right here. But what this has in addition is a camera right here that records both front and rear. This is the Wolfbox G900 Pro. It's a 4K front dash cam and a 2.5K rear cam with night vision. It fits directly over your OEM rear view mirror with these rubber mounts. It is very simple to install. You have two options. You can have a hardwired kit, or you can do some soft wiring, which connects just like this with a 12 volt, and it can be installed on any car that you can imagine. Press this button right here. It turns into a normal rear view mirror, or you tap it again. Here's your front view. Here's your front view and your rear view. And then here's just the rear view. It also has voice commands. You can say, turn on recording. And you get an audible note saying it turns on recording. That way you're not like driving, you see something and you have to worry about what button to hit. It just does it audibly. Or you can say, turn off audio. So now there's no audio recording. I love the clarity. I love the different use cases, and I like how you can just turn it into a normal mirror. Picking up things like license plates or street signs and then having a GPS monitor showing exactly where an incident occurred is really important, and all of that is stored on an SD card that is within the mirror housing. There's also a Wolfbox app that you can remotely access all of this footage. Check out Wolfbox. I will have them linked in the description, and there's also a discount code on the screen. Wolfbox, thanks for sponsoring this video. Now back to the Outback. So here, 12.1 inch display, and then you have your 12.3 inch digital gauge cluster. You can also change how it looks. So if you want to have a minimalist look, there we are, driving into the abyss. And then there's the traditional speedometer and tachometer. And then we have a nav look, which this is really cool. It reminds me of like Audi's MMI system. Beautiful there. On the bottom left, we're able to scroll through miles per gallon or average miles per gallon, and then just our RPMs hovering there. But overall, my big takeaway with using this system is it is really snappy. You can actually use it. It's nice to use the native infotainment. A lot of times you just go straight to Apple CarPlay and avoid it at all costs, but it's actually very snappy. The keyboard, let me show you an example here. So if we're typing something in, it all works really well. If we click on the map and zoom out, you can see it's all refreshing really quickly. Zoom back in. So it's a really nicely done infotainment system. And then this is all parallel here. So they were trying to keep your eyes, you're not looking down, you're not looking up, you're all looking across here, and you have great visibility out of the front. Yeah, I would say the steering wheel here, there's a lot of buttons that are in front of you. It'll take you a little bit to get used to, but as an owner, you will get used to this stuff and it won't become a problem over time. I think so far what I'm shocked about is the off-road capability, because we just took this thing, it was like 20 hours we were driving. I don't know. At least 20. I don't know. So yeah, we're going to take it for a drive here, see how the power is on this upgraded unit, and go from there. All right, so it does have automatic start-stop. See how this thing feels. I'm flat to the floor, down Mount Mingus.
Follow the road for 7.2 miles.
So I will say I'm kind of shocked. So this has 260 horsepower. We're in the turbocharged version right now. I actually thought it would be a lot quicker. Surprisingly, it doesn't feel, I mean, it has 100 more pound-feet of torque, but it doesn't feel that different. I'm sure merging on the highway, it feels more substantial, but ultimately I thought it was going to be a shocking difference, and it really isn't. Where this car, again, where it really shines, I feel like is the steering, and the infotainment is incredible to look at now. Before they had these vertical slits and it was a vertical screen, you didn't really know what you were doing. Now it's very classy looking, it's very millennial looking. It just seems like everything is in the right place. They've also done a nice job of not trying to emulate having buttons on the screen, or some buttons are on the screen and some are down here. All of like the HVAC and everything is controlled down here, your heated and cooled seats. You're not searching for something on the screen as you're trying to drive. And once you own the vehicle for a while, you'll know exactly where to go, even without looking. So years ago, I took a 9-hour trip from the Bay Area all the way up to Bandon, Oregon in a Subaru Forester. My 3 buddies and I, golf clubs and everything fit in the back. And previous to that, I loved STIs, the BRZ and everything like that because I enjoyed driver's cars. But that's when I realized, taking that trip to Bandon, where these cars have a ton of, they're ergonomically, they're some of the best out there. And I feel like that's kind of overlooked. There's just a ton of space for storage. They have a ton of range. They're fuel efficient and they're ultra safe. And now, where they were lacking with technology, they've actually upgraded it to the point where it's better than a lot of the competition. Certainly better than like Honda, for example. I talked about this before, where it looked like I put saran wrap over my eyes, and that's the reverse camera. So this has a lot of really great features to it, and it's just kind of nice to drive. It's very comfortable. It flows through turns like this. It's efficient. But I guess we got to test the sound system. We got to see if Mr. Harman Kardon put a good one in the Outback. Here's a brief look at the reverse camera. So we'll kind of scroll through some of those. You can not curb your wheels. You got that camera there, so no excuses. Straight out the back, and then more of a surround view here, and then a more straightforward view there. Overall, the camera quality it's good. It's not the best I've seen. And over here, the 360 bird's eye view is very clear. So that's really helpful, especially when parallel parking. You can see your boys perfectly parallel here. All right, so we're gonna back this thing out. Also, just did the sound test with a Millie, and this thing killed it. It's an excellent sound system. It's very smooth. It's a very smooth sound system. It's clear. It's not overdone. There we go. Just saved us from an accident. Yeah, overall, the infotainment, again, the functionality of it, very smooth. The other thing worth noting on the interior here is what you're seeing in front of you is standard on all models. So this, no matter if you're on the top trim or the bottom trim, the infotainments are all the same. The digital gauge cluster and this upgraded display right here. So from the previous gen base model, $4,000 worth of upgrades now comes standard on the Outback. And I really appreciate that they did that and they didn't skimp out on the lower trims. So where do we stand on the 2026 Outback? Here's what I love about this thing, is I think you get a ton of value starting at $34,000 all the way up to $47,000. It doesn't get to some crazy price point. It has a ton of space. The technology's good efficiency, comfort. I really think this is an overlooked vehicle. Now, so what else would you consider in this range? I think the RAV4 is worth looking at. I think that is a good option as well. But something like the CR-V kind of falls off. And I just think this does a really nice job of packing in good technology, space, and then the performance isn't bad. The other thing that I haven't pointed out yet is this digital rear view mirror. So if you go like this, goes to a normal mirror, and then there to a digital rear view mirror. Again, just another example of adding luxury technology. There's cars way more expensive than this that don't have this feature. And I think that's really nice. You have your garage door openers, 3 settings for different garage doors there. And then, like I said earlier, look at the beautiful leatherette trim, different designs on the perimeter of the seat on the side bolsters there, and then perforated leather, and then this thigh extender here. Yeah, overall, just a really nicely done vehicle. I do think it's overlooked. Also, look at where we're at. The Gjeebs organization does not deserve this, but maybe we do. Now, one of my recent videos, I did compare the Tesla Model Y to the new RAV4, so click this video right here to check that out.